When I first met Clara, she was everything I thought I'd ever wanted. Beautiful, sharp-witted, ambitious, she carried herself with a confidence that drew people in. We had been together for almost 3 years, and while we had our fair share of arguments, I thought we were solid. I believed we understood each other. I believed I understood her. But the truth is, I didn't. Not even close. It was a regular Friday evening. I had just gotten home from work and was settling in with a cup of coffee when my phone buzzed. It was a message from Clara. I expected something sweet, maybe a photo of her lunch or a funny meme. Instead, it was a selfie of her leaning against a man I'd never seen before. He had his arm around her shoulder, and she had that playful smirk she used to give me when we first started dating. The caption beneath the picture read, "Upgraded." For a moment, I stared at the screen, frozen. My mind went blank except for those 8 letters, each one digging deeper like a blade. My heart was pounding, my palms sweaty, but my face was still. I didn't type a single word back. I didn't even ask who he was. I just put the phone down and stared at the wall, feeling like the floor had dropped out from under me. Clara always had a way of pushing my buttons. She thrived on drama, testing my patience to see how much I could take. But this was different. It wasn't just a game. This was her way of telling me she'd replaced me, and she was proud enough to rub it in my face. I felt an ache in my chest, but beneath it was a strange calm. A part of me knew that the best response was no response. I didn't sleep much that night. My mind replayed every moment of our relationship, trying to spot the signs. The late nights at work. The sudden phone calls she'd take in another room. The unexplained weekends with friends. It all seemed so obvious now, yet I had convinced myself she was loyal. That I was enough. I had been wrong. The next morning, she didn't call. She didn't text. She didn't even check if I had seen her message. I imagined she was waiting for me to explode, to beg or accuse her, so she could play the victim. But I wasn't going to give her that satisfaction. I went about my day, silent. Days turned into a week. She finally texted, not to explain, but to ask why I hadn't reacted. "No comment on my upgrade," she wrote, followed by a laughing emoji. I still didn't reply. It drove her insane. I could see it in the few social media posts she made, cryptic captions about cowards and men who can't handle strong women. She wanted a war. I refused to fight. Instead, I started quietly moving my things out of the apartment we shared. When she was out, I packed my clothes, my laptop, my personal documents. I transferred my money from our joint account into my own. I left nothing behind except the key to the front door. A week later, she came home to find the apartment half empty. She called me immediately, her voice sharp with panic. "What is this? Are you serious?" she demanded. I calmly told her, "You made your choice. I'm just making mine." She started shouting, but I hung up before she could finish. I blocked her number, her social media, everything. There was nothing left to say. The silence that followed was like medicine. It hurt at first, like ripping off a bandage, but the air felt cleaner without her constant games. A few months passed, and I heard from mutual friends that the guy in the selfie didn't last. Apparently, he found out about her habit of playing with people's emotions and left her without warning. She tried to reach out to me again, but by then I had no interest in reopening that chapter of my life. I had started going to the gym, picking up old hobbies, and even traveling on weekends. For the first time in years, I felt in control of my life. The peace I found in silence was worth more than any argument I could have had with her. Clara's photo had been meant to humiliate me, to make me react, to keep me trapped in her cycle of manipulation. Instead, it set me free. Looking back, I realized my silence was my loudest answer. She wanted to see me broken, but all she saw was the empty space where I used to be. And in that space, I built something stronger, myself. She may have thought she upgraded, but the truth is, I was the one who did. I upgraded my life, my peace, and my self-respect, and that's something no one can take away from me.